Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for meeting me here on the courthouse steps. Today, the United States Attorney's Office here in the District of New Mexico and my partners in the FBI announced that Malcom Torres received a sentence of 35 years in federal prison for murdering 5.5-year-old Renezmae Calzada in 2019. On September 7th of that year, Torres was trusted for the care of Renezmae and her younger brother. Instead, Torres subjected Renezmae to a brutal beating that ultimately resulted in her death. Rather than seek medical help, he chose to drive her body to the banks of the Rio Grande and dump her there. The Española community rallied behind Renezmae's family, who stands here with me today, in an effort to find the young girl. Police and law enforcement, hundreds of citizen volunteers scoured the area for days, looking for Renezmae, hoping to find her alive. Torres, who knew exactly where he had left Renezmae's body, refused to assist police, in fact actively attempted to obfuscate police efforts to locate Renezmae. 4 days later, police recovered her body. The Office of the Medical Examiner determined that she was not alive when Torres left her in the river. Renezmae died from blunt force trauma to the head. She had a broken left wrist, which was inflicted when she was still alive, and multiple pre-mortem bruises on the back of her head, scalp, neck, torso, and limbs, all of which were indicative of multiple separate impacts. Through this sadness is the unity that searching for hope for this one girl brings the community of northern New Mexico. With me today stands the family of Renezmae and some of our law enforcement partners. And so I'd like to first invite up Victoria Maestas to speak with you all.
So, I'm the mother of Renezmae Calzada, and we would like to thank you so much for participating and helping us search for her, for all the donations, for all of the departments that came together and helped us find her and be able to bring her home and bury her where we were born and raised on our reservation. Also, for the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and everybody who put tireless hours of helping us get through all of this, to be here to this day, to be able to stand before you and be able to finally talk our piece and to get through what we went through. So thank you, all of you, for being here and for helping us.
All right. I'm going to invite Donovan Maestas.
So a little bit about what Victoria just mentioned, a huge appreciation to everybody involved. But I also want to appreciate the media. Throughout the years, we've gotten a lot of calls, texts, emails asking, and we thank you guys for being patient with us. We were asked not to divulge any information or to really spoil anything, I guess, in a sense. So we thank you guys for being patient with us while this process went through. We also thank the FBI and all you guys for putting a lid on the investigation and keeping it quiet and having a thorough investigation. The words can't express how grateful we are for this closure. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but we're here, we made it, and we're at the end of it. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Donovan. Finally, Raul Bujanda, Special Agent in Charge of the FBI.
First, let me start by extending the FBI's sincerest sympathies to the family. There's no words that I can say that are going to bring what we really wanted, which was Renezmae to come home back then, 2019. Our hearts are forever broken, and I know that all of you here and all of you out there, to include all our friends in law enforcement, in the community, the media, and everyone that heard the cries of the family, that were spending tireless hours looking for her. Why? Because at the end of the day, not only was it the right thing, nobody was doing it because it was their job. We were doing it because it hit us in a place that comes right here. It comes from the heart. Because this could have been your child. It could have been my child. She was a beautiful soul that was taken way too soon from us. And I hope that this is a message to anyone else, that Renezmae will never be forgotten, because she has a special place in our hearts. And if for anyone else that ever chooses to do something like this, you will bring not only the force of all law enforcement, but the community, the families, Renezmae's families, Renezmae's spirit, will make sure that this will never happen again to another child, because together is the only way we will ever stop these senseless crimes from happening. Con todo mi corazón, and to the family, and my heart aches for all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Raul. So finally, as I'd indicated before, and as Raul was telling you, the bright light of this story is how the community came together, how this family came together, how law enforcement showed up and came together. And this truly is Renezmae's legacy, bringing together community, fighting for life, protecting our children. Because all children are all of our children. And although justice may move slow, and this is 4 years later, today we received our first apology in court. Today we received some final justice. Today we received, collectively, an opportunity to move forward. And although justice may move slow, when it walks to the doors of this courthouse, it is certain. We will find you, and we will hold you accountable, and we will send you to prison. And we together as a community will stand together to protect our children. Thank you all for being here. My deepest condolences to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a couple questions, yes.
Right now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Just to, you just previously stated that you guys received a apology in court. Was it from Malcom Torres? Can you speak to that? I know this has been a long time for justice. Are you guys now the family process?
Yes, I'll say that every defendant in a criminal case is offered the opportunity to speak when he's being sentenced. In this case, Malcom Torres gave a few sentences, but one of them was an apology for letting everyone down. Mr. Healing, I'll let the family speak if they'd like to.
Thank you, everyone. Are you guys now on the road to healing?
It's going to be a step forward.
It's a step forward, and we're going to continue to go forward, and we're still going to continue to raise my grandson to know his sister and let him know how precious she was to us, like he is to us. And we'll never, ever forget our baby girl.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a quick question? So 35 years, two-part question. Is that justice? Is that enough? I know the judge early on today was talking about this being a possible death penalty case. Why didn't that happen?
Sure. There is no sentence that will ever bring back a lost child. I started my career early on as a crimes against children prosecutor. I have personally handled many child death cases myself, and there is no sentence that will ever bring justice to a family who's lost someone. The 35-year sentence was negotiated between the parties. I'll start actually with your question regarding the death penalty. There are certain offenses as the first-degree murder as charged in the superseding indictment here that come with a potential death penalty sentence. While I can't get into the specific intricacies of discussions on this case, they all go with a recommendation from our office to the Attorney General, who then certifies one way or another whether we're going to pursue death or whether we're going to seek a life sentence or below. Yeah, I can't talk to the internal deliberations, how that worked, but I can tell you the general process. 35 years is a substantial sentence, I'll tell you that. It is one of the longer ones this court hands out, but as I said, no sentence will ever replace Renezmae. Thank you.
I have a question for Victoria if she's willing
Yes,
to
ma'am.
come back up. Obviously, I was in there with you guys all day. You guys were all very
Sorry, I
emotional,
couldn't hear her.
and I mean, got to see him.
I'm so sorry, hon. I didn't hear you.
A little bit.
I was like way back there, and you're
No,
right
I
back
get
there
it.
too.
It's a little rough. Obviously, I was in there with you guys today. It was very emotional for everybody. Do you feel like, I mean, you finally got to speak your mind and let it all out, or
I
is
think
there
I
still
let
more to
like
say?
a piece of the iceberg out. I mean, I have a lot of anger and a lot of stuff going through, but still, I'm not God. I can't judge him. I mean, I'm angry and I'm upset. I mean, I may not like the time that he got right now either, but you know, it's something, and I got an apology, and he didn't deny it. So So 4 years of denying and not saying anything, and today is the first day we got something, is an accomplishment, at least a step forward. And hopefully within years, when my son's grown and my son asks him, he'll be able to tell the truth to my son and be able to admit what he did.
What do you guys want the state to kind of know and remember about Renezmae?
That if, I don't know, I'm more about if the child, I mean, it started on this issue, if my daughter was not put in his hands by a judge, then she would still be with me. But a judge granted him partial custody of my daughter. And it created this hole right now that we're in. I mean, it's a lot. So, but my daughter was absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. Her smile would light up a room. Like, just her energy was just enough to just rub off on you. So, I'm grateful for the little time I did have with her. And I wish I had more. But it's okay. I mean, I have memories, right? It's better than nothing.
Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. Good afternoon.